it's great to be doing something that difficult with someone who understands, with someone who understands you as a human being.
Yes,
you know,
yes.
They're not going to come there with their own ideas about what acting should be and how we should do it, and kind of live vicariously in their own head about what you should be doing.
Yes.
And we spoke it out, man. We spoke it out for a while. Had meetings with Mark Graham, had meetings with the writers. But the day we had to actually shoot, like, that was hard. When we did kind of build up towards it eventually happening, because then they went through a process of auditioning who the lover is going to be.
Correct.
And they came to the decision that's going to be Zolisa.
Yes.
Who is my friend at the time. We are close. Like, we hang out all the time.
What a life.
So he's the one that actually broke it to me to say, hey, I'm China. Like, I'm coming back to Generations.
Sizoshada. The show is Engineer Your Life, and I'm Lungelo KM. If you're new here, I am judging you. The rest of the community has been here forever and enjoying the growth conversations that we continue to have. Today is no different. We're here with a legend. Some people don't like being called legends because it says it ages them, but I'll hear from Thami Mngqolo how he feels about that. Don't forget to like, don't forget to subscribe, and make sure you continue spreading the word about this beautiful work we do here. Mr. Thami Mngqolo.
There we go.
That's it, ne?
Impressed. That's dope.
What do people say?
Hey, they get it wrong. My surname is one that's very easy to butcher.
Ne?
Mngqolo, Mngqolo.
Oh no. Yeah.
Mngqolo.
Yeah.
Yeah, people make up all sorts.
I think it's because I'm Nguni, so it's the clicks.
Right.
The clicks are easy
It
for
helps.
me.
It helps.
My brother, how's your heart today?
My heart is great, man. My heart is great. My heart is light. My heart is... It's a very weird question to get.
Yeah.
Because we don't often look into that space, because
Yeah.
we look at the mind first. But
Yeah.
the soul is good.
Yeah.
good.
Yeah. Where do you think the contentness comes from rather? Because when you say the soul is good, it speaks to a person who's content in their life. Yeah.
Forward progress. Understanding, having a better understanding as you grow older of your role in life.
Sure.
Because it's very hard. I think in your teens, you have all sorts of ambition, right? You have all sorts of ideas of where you want to end up. I remember saying I wanted to have a Ferrari by age 25. And I believed that. Right? I was a big Formula One fan. It's a Ferrari, la 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 la. I'm going after it.
Yeah.
And then you reach your 20s and it begins to kind of hit home what's necessary to get to those things. Because we live a little bit privileged, each and every one of us in our own little spaces. The moment you have a caring home, a mother and father that pay your school fees and your university fees, we don't realize the privilege we have.
Correct.
So life only dawns on us sort of in that last year of varsity towards finding a job and then getting a job and then securing your own place to stay. And then you realize, geez, 2.5 million for a Ferrari is far away.
Very far. Yeah.
But there's so much that happens. I think we are very impatient. You get to about age 25, you get to about age 28, you get to age 30. You are very different to how you were when you were 21, 22.
Absolutely. Yeah.
You kind of laugh at the person you were.
Yeah.
But the same thing happens at every stage of life.
Yeah.
You get to 35 and you look back at 28 and you think, there's not much I knew then about the huge journey that life has in store for you. And there's so many ways that you can kind of reinvent yourself and you find your new path. I used to think I'm only an actor. And I sit back and laugh when I used to get that question in university and always being prodded into, no man, writing, directing, how do you feel about that? It's like, no, I'm an actor. I take that very seriously and I want to do that well. And I focused on that. And over time, you begin to realize, but the knowledge you've picked up and everything you've done in that space it's prepared you for so much more.
Sure. So diversify.
To exactly that. To diversify. To show more of yourself.
Sure.
Because sometimes that tag is a bit of a comfort zone. That's my security blanket.
This
is who I am. This is all I am. This is all I have to put effort into. Then I don't have to stretch myself into uncomfortable spaces.
And then growing up also does this where, because you've put yourself into this comfort zone of being an actor, growing up, the nuances of, wait a minute, I don't always have an acting job. So how, this is the reality. Yes, this was what I thought is how it would plan out. But the realities of it, of the experience, is showing me that diversifying is actually much more important.
If I'd known that when I was 21, 22, I'd have been far better prepared for potential hiccups later on in life. Do you know what I mean? You find yourself in spaces where you begin to realize, because even emceeing and doing that kind of events world, I was reluctant for the longest time. I was comfortable in like appearances. Let's go somewhere. Let's just go be and get paid to be there. Get paid to party. Get paid to shake hands. Get paid to do that kind of thing. And after a while, you realize, but there's far more longevity within that kind of industry if you MC as well. If you're able to run a program, if you're able to facilitate, if you're able to speak, engagements, there's so much more you can do there. It must have been 2015, 16. I was doing Presidential Golf Day in Cape Town.
That is insane.
And I was, in a space where it's a lot of politicians, lots of businessmen, lots of
influential people.
Yeah. But I realized, this is borrowed worth. I'm there on the basis of my character that I play on TV. But are these people genuinely fating Thami? No, it's more about the character and the character name. And the people we see there on TV that we have to now rub shoulders with. And I remember saying a prayer around then, saying that, Lord, if this is for me, then absolutely I will put all of it in. You know what I mean? But if there's more for me out there in the world, if there's so much more that I can show of myself, then take this away. Then remove me from this.
So that I can pursue the uncomfortable.
So that I can get to the place where this that I see around me, I'm there on my own merits. Not on the back of a TV character. A TV character. I'd like to be much more than that,
I love that, because you're saying where everybody around you in the industry is saying, no, you've got a good job. It's a comfortable job. We all wish for the character that you have, that's so much strength, that is watched by almost 10 million viewers at the time. That's what the numbers the TV show was doing. You should be comfortable, but you are having an awakening with God in your private life to say, God, this can't be all.
Because how many of us in the industry are known by our full name and surname? I am literally shocked anytime I'm walking in the street and someone says, "You Thami Mngqolo." I turn immediately and I'm like, this person knows me. And even if they don't know me personally, they've bothered to, read the credits at the end and be like, I'm a fan. But most of us, and we've all done it. I'm not blaming people. I'm saying it's the nature of the industry in this country. We've all done it. For the longest time, my favorite soapy characters, like I would call them by their soapy names. You only later on, once you want to get into the industry, be like, no. David Nyati is Hlongwane Ndalo. You know what I mean? Tau is Rapulana Sepemo. You know what I mean? Get to know the name, get to know the person. And it's the nature of the beast in this country, where I think it's far safer for the powers that be to have people known only by
their character
and what they bring on TV. Not to raise stars, not to create stars and maintain stars. Because look at it the other way around. If you look at anyone that you love as an actor, actress in America, you know them name and surname.
Absolutely.
Who and what character they play is secondary.
Much secondary.
You don't even remember.
They are stars first by their name, the brand that they are.
Absolutely.
And not the television show character.
There we go. With us here, you remember someone's character and who and what they played on the river and how dope they were. Kobrizi. Oh my God, Kobrizi. And then you look back and you're like, but that's something's weird about that. Because we exalt the name and what they play on TV. Only.
Would you say it causes a loss of identity for the actors?
Look, not so much. I think for the actors themselves, actors know themselves, actors know who they are. They're not, it's easy to get caught up in the fame. It's easy to get caught up in the trimmings.
Sure.
And some might pursue that, but I'd say that's a small percentage, you know? Most actors are very grounded and very rooted in who and what they are. It's just the circumstances that say, once I step out of my home and into the street, I need to understand that that's who I am going to be to the people that know me as, you know?
Yeah. It's a bit unfair though.
Yeah.
Maybe perhaps largely unfair that in this country, your character supersedes your identity.
Right. And that's the reality.
Yeah.
That's the reality. If you look at sports, if you look at music, we know those people by their craft, but what they do, but we know their name.
Yes.
You know who Rebecca Malope is.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
Don't say, hey, gospel singer. You know what I mean?
Right?
You say Rebecca because you know the name and surname.
Yeah.
You know who the person is. There's a brand.
Yeah.
There's an identity. With actors, it's completely lopsided. And that was part of what for me personally, I fell out of love with the industry with these realizations, but slowly kind of craft my way back where I'm doing it for the love and not just for the money anymore. You know?
When you had this 2016, 2017 epiphany, how do you then curate your life differently to your career? How do you manage this shift?
It's hard. You start businesses, you start production companies. Like I'm in that space now, writing and creating, and you know. But even that has its pitfalls, because if you aren't part of the 1%, or let's say the 5% of, you know, those that have been there and done that for a while, because they get first dibs. Anytime a new brief comes out, we look to the tried and trusted, and you do understand from a business perspective that you are going to put your money and back someone that you know you will get a return from.
Correct.
You know? It's so much harder to trust a newbie, a brand new company that was started literally a month ago, and say, hey man, here's a 3 million rand budget. Let's see what you guys can do with it.
Yeah.
It doesn't work that way. So you gotta have to kind of pay your dues, work your way into that. But like you said earlier, diversifying. I've completely diversified, because now there's, you know, supply company that I'm trying also. There's the production company, there's medical supply company.
Yeah.
Do a little bit of everything now.
Why would you say, I mean, you have said that it's the channel has to give to people they try and test. But what's so wrong about giving people a chance? I mean, you've acted, you've been in productions for long. So it's not like they don't know you.
Yeah.
It's not like you completely brand new and you don't know the craft.
Yeah.
Yes, you might not know the absolute nuances of production.
Yeah.
But why do you think channels are reluctant to give people a chance?
Look, it's hegemony. It's bureaucracy. It's things that exist, and there's a way of doing things. And yes, maybe there might be one or two people on the panel that believe in Thami. Look, you know, let's give him a chance. He's acted well before, so. But it's only a matter of time before someone else within that same panel says, no, but we've never give anybody else that's a novice a chance. Why must he get special treatment? You know, taking away the fact that yes, there's institutional knowledge, there's experience, and it's not exactly a novice, but there's institutionalized way of doing things that people have a hard time breaking out of. You know what I mean? They'd rather stick to what they know, because there's no guarantees yet. And it's up to you as the newbie to prove them wrong. You know what I mean? I'm not going to sit here and say I don't want favors, but I don't want people to sit back afterwards and say, aye, but you know, the way you came in here, it is unfair to so many others.
Yes.
You know, I'm all for opening up the industry, but also let's value people that have been in the industry for such a long time. So it's about finding that balance.
Correctly so. But would you not say that this is something the audience brings up a few times, where the audience always says, perhaps that's the reason our shows feel like they are the same?
Yeah.
The soapies and the telenovelas, especially, it feels like the same storyline with different character names.
Right.
Would you say that is because of the reuse of the same production companies?
It's not always the exact same production companies, but there's some truth to that. In that it's usually some of the same writers.
Okay.
It's usually some of the same creatives behind it, because most of the time big production companies conceptualize a story and then you kind of outsource the writing to somebody else.
Yeah.
And there's also kind of trends that happen within storytelling.
Okay.
You know, here and worldwide, where we're all kind of doing the same thing around the same time. you know. If you remember around the time of The Fixer, Olivia Pope, and, international terrorism and presidency, shortly afterwards, there were so many stories about presidents and the White House and people in the White House.
Yeah.
Then it became in vogue to have a female president.
Yes.
And we're telling those stories all the time. So sometimes we are caught in the social construct of the time.
Correct.
And what we are speaking about.
Yeah.
So maybe sometimes, yes, things will feel similar, but I think when you bring it back down to home, the issue I find is that it's a copycat industry. If a storyline of like witchcraft has worked somewhere and they got lots of ratings for it, now we're going to see witchcraft everywhere.
Yeah.
Like now we're going to try and capture that same audience
Ikazi.
and hope that works. Ikazi.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like even down to Senzo as Senzo and Jason as gay characters.
Sure.
The moment that found its kind of niche and that worked, suddenly you are seeing the spillover of so many other shows having a gay character. And, you know what I mean? So there's fear to step out of comfort zones, but we stick to what we know. And if it works, then if it's not broke, why fix it? I think that's the attitude.
It's like, we'll do it as many times until it breaks.
Yeah, absolutely. You make hay while the sun is shining, and we will wring this thing dry.
When did that first scene of Senzo and Jason happen? Which year was it?
I don't know. 2009, maybe?
Sure. That is very shortly after, not too short, but shortly after South African same-sex marriage became legal. So it was certainly a barrier that was being crossed on television, on entertainment, even in real life, because in real life, we all grew up, rightfully so, with gay, lesbian people in our communities, but they didn't have a platform to be who they are. Even though in 1994, it became legal for them to be freely who they are. But when you see this gap between 94 and 2008, 2009, it's a good 16, 15-year gap before it could be expressed, especially on a medium as big as Generations. The first day you saw that script, what went through your head?
Look, to tell the truth, Mark Graham was great. He was the head writer there at the time. Mark Graham had warned me ahead of time that this is a fully gay character. When you take it on with that knowledge. And are you ready for that? Because you're not gay, but can you play the character?
Sure.
Obviously went through a long, extensive audition program. Got the part, but was still kind of prepped. And they took their time, which I liked. I wasn't just like thrust into that immediately. The story kind of evolved, which was great. Because it took people off guard eventually when it was. Because it took like 9 months to eventually reveal that Senzo is gay.
Yes.
But I knew, so I'd had time to prepare myself. I had an idea that this was going to happen. The closer it came, the more I felt like, wait, let's push it a little bit more. Because you're enjoying just like being feted everywhere, being recognized for the first time in life. But I was scared of what the fallout might be. You know what I mean? I'd spoken to my parents.
With the audience and parents and all sorts of the audience.
Yeah, it was fear of the unknown.
Sure.
Because, the things I could control, I was fine with. I told my parents ahead of time, they were like, hey, it's your work. This is what you do. This is what you studied for. So, do it to your best. You're not gay. The around you knows you're not gay. So, like, what's your problem? I was like, okay, sharp. Okay. But the trepidation came from, because you'd heard all sorts of stories about like, Grace's character had been slapped in the street because of what she did to Karabo. People tend to overreact and take it on TV really seriously. And my fear was that my character was rooted in being Zulu.
Sure.
From KZN.
Sure.
And we all know how traditional and staunch our Zulu counterparts are about how they're represented.
Especially at that time.
At that time, especially. They're the first to call in and say, akwenziwa kanjalo. You know what I mean? I think like there'd been another storyline before the gay thing that there'd been a huge outcry about, just like the Zondo surname and what the people back was Zondo do. So I was like, this is going to be interesting. This comes out. But to tell the truth, it's nowhere near as bad as I thought it would be.
Do you remember how the build-up was? Because you're saying it took 9 months before the revelation came. Like, just did it trigger our memory? Was it like you do things in what would happen in the storyline?
So in the storyline, they would make me go on a date with Sharon, make me close with Grace at the time, and kind of lead it there where she might feel some sort of crush towards this person, and then I just stonewall.
Yes.
But there's no reciprocation of this. Just like, Grant. I'm going another direction. And I remember selfishly feeling like at the time, I wish we could have done more with those storylines and just kind of shade it maybe into bisexuality. Instead of just like straight up homosexuality. But that was my fear speaking. You know? And then when we did kind of build up towards it eventually happening, because then they went through a process of auditioning who the lover is going to be.
Correct.
You know? And they came to the decision that's going to be Zolisa.
Yes.
Who is my friend at the time. We are close. Like, we hang out all the time.
What a life.
So he's the one that actually broke it to me to say, hey, I'm China. Like, I'm coming back to generations.
Sizoshata.
So that was crazy. That was strange. It was a relief on the one end, because it's great to be doing something that difficult with someone who understands with someone who understands you as a human being. You know? It's not going to come there with their own ideas about what acting should be and how we should do it, and, you know, kind of live vicariously in their own head about what you should be doing. And we spoke it out, man. We spoke it out for a while, had meetings with Mark Graham, had meetings with the writers. But the day we had to actually shoot, like, that was hard. Because we had to redo this thing. The situation at SABC where you shoot at Henley, but the Generations offices are on Ditton, which is all the way down. Not far away. It's about like a 1-minute drive, 5-minute walk, but they have a link into studio. And they don't generally watch all the time. You know what I mean? Because they're working. But on this day, everyone was on their monitors over there. And while we are in studio, so everyone coming in with notes after every little scene to say, okay, let them try it this way. Let them try it this way. It took us maybe 2 hours to do a scene that normally takes about 15 minutes. You know? Because there was so much back and forth about the right way to treat it.
Sensitivity.
The sensitivities around
for not only just the audience, but the LGBTQI community as well, right? Because there was possible backlash of being saying, you are representing us wrong.
Yeah, absolutely. And Mark was great with that, because it was about finding a balance, you know? We don't want to walk into that walking on eggshells and already kind of apologizing for what we are doing. But it is an 8 o'clock family audience. So we can't go too risque. And that was our saving grace so often up there, because, hey, it's a family show.
When the writers would want to take it in.
Exactly.
Like, hey.
Because writers can go crazy. Writers have imaginations and they want to see this stuff, you know, played out correctly as they had seen it in their vision. And so many times we had to be like, no, let's pull that back a little bit, you know?
Was it important for you? Because I'm sure there was a process of fear and then eventually you got comfortable and used to it. Was it important for you that actually I'm doing something that represents the human rights of this country? I must do it so well.
You know, I'll be honest, I didn't put that much pressure on myself. I didn't think that far. You know, for me, what was important was that I'm an actor first, right? I pride myself on my craft. I pride myself on my ability to bring to life words from a paper and live the character. And if this is what the character is, I just need to do what the character is. You know? Anya will come as backlash, that will come as a reaction, but it will come as a reaction to my work, not to Thami.
I get you.
Thami has made a choice to work, yes, and the things that you're seeing portrayed over there are somebody else. I'm literally playing somebody else. You can't fault me for that person, you know? Fault the writers, fault the creators, fault the producers. I am doing a job, and I had to see that through, you know?
How long did the character last?
A while. She's 7 years. 7-8 years before we went on strike.
7 years you were a gay man who's married.
Yeah. 7 years.
Bro, that's insane.
Yeah. And I remember speaking to my agent when I first started the character. And she said, great character for you, you know. I know you're going to shoot the lights out with this. but don't be there too long. You know, it's a conveyor belt, and you know, for the craft and for everything you want to do, you want to be in movies, you want to do more stage, you want to, you know. And I was like, yeah, no, 2 years max.
Yeah.
2 years max. You know,
Two
excited
became
at the
three,
beginning.
became four.
I get my debit order.
Now your car is fancier.
You
Now,
understand? You understand? Like, life is improving directions, and you're just like, well, one more year, let's see, because it's like it's a rolling 1 year contract.
Sure.
You know, so every year you get to review.
Yes.
And, by the third or fourth year, I was like, I'm family here, you know. I know the crew, I know the cast, I'm comfortable, you know. And that's actually what I miss the most. Like when I think back to Generations, is the crew members that we left that were family, you know.
They became brothers and sisters.
Absolutely, you see each other every day. You get sick of each other. You love each other all over again.
You argue
so much together. You know what I mean?
Yeah. An interesting era. We then shortly after that era, after the strike, we see you on Vilakazi. Tell me about that character. Now you are an evil man who's trying to be king, but he's not worthy.
It's actually my favorite character ever.
I can imagine.
Ever.
I can imagine. I recently rewatched the show.
Really?
Yeah.
I need to actually.
It's beautiful, man. You will laugh because of the production quality of that time.
Yeah.
But you did so well.
Yeah. It's something that, you know, when I look back at, we didn't realize what we were doing, what we were creating, because you often just go into jobs as just another job. But I remember we sat down with Shona, because I didn't really audition for it. Shona had an idea of who he wanted.
Okay.
Sat me down and was like, I want you and Anga to play these two brothers. And there was a series called Tyrant at the time. I think it was HBO or someone like that. But it was two brothers, the sons of Saddam Hussein, and just how crazy and melodramatic their lives were.
Correct.
And he said to me, watch that. And I'd watched it already. And I was like, actually, let me just rewatch, you know. But watch Uday, who is the more evil brother. That's who you are going to be. And understanding that evil doesn't come just out of a choice of being evil. It's the selfishness of your choices.
Sure.
That makes you inherently evil.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I brought that into the show, which was easy to do with Vatiswa. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Easy to do in the context of Zandile Msutwana and them and Anga. And I had so many people that I'd worked with before. So it was easy to just assimilate and
integrate.
And integrate and find a niche that works for all of us. And the difficulty at the time, because yes, Ngumxhosa, but I'd been doing Zulu for so long
on TV
and prepping Zulu and trying to be as Zulu as possible and not get the backlash from people who are going to say, but this guy is not authentically Zulu.
Yes.
That my tongue had been trained almost, and my thought processes, because of being around so long, and my girlfriend at the time was Zulu.
Yeah.
So people talk Zulu. You know?
Work talk Zulu.
Work talk
Pillow
Zulu.
talk Zulu.
So it was a huge adjustment to kind of retrain the tongue. And I cringe sometimes when I look back and listen to like some of the dialogue I had to go through, because I'm like, I can hear the differences of what it's supposed to sound like, but you know, it was
for us,
I had to put in.
For us who are Zulu and from other cultures, we didn't know the difference. We thought, it's Xhosa Lesi.
Right.
This is how they speak in kingdoms and royalty.
Yeah. Because I'm looking at Shaka Ilembe right now, and I'm hearing the outrage from some corners about Ulemogang, that role, which I understand from a purely linguistic perspective. But there's so much more that colors the story that I'm like, I do understand the choices that were made in putting him in that character. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
It's a hard one for us as South Africans, because sometimes you also have to ask yourself the question, as someone that's of that culture, am I the only target market?
Yeah.
Am I the only one that this show is supposed to be made for?
Yeah.
So,
because it's a commercial entity at the end of the day.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. And there's so many other factors to consider. But you know, Vilakazi is one of those that will live on in the memory for so long, because I, number one, was able to cast myself in completely new light because Senzo was a nice guy.
Mm-hmm.
Senzo was someone that mothers love.
Mm-hmm.
Senzo was someone that, when mothers meet me in public, are like, yo, what a waste of time. I've got a beautiful daughter.
Yeah.
Unje.
Yeah. Yeah.
And to then go on the flip side of the coin and be just a little bit evil. Yes, still prodded by the mother, and pushed in that direction. But to play that was, it was a sort of an unshackling of sorts of just like, I'm so much more than just this.
If you say it was your favorite role, then why was somebody else recast for season 2?
Oh man, it's the nature of our business. You think a business negotiation is just a negotiation, but then people take it personally.
Okay.
We didn't negotiate until the day of first shoot about what the new rate is going to be for season 2, And I did the right thing. I went on set and I was like, okay, I don't have a contract. I don't know what I am being paid for this going forward. But before I shoot, I'm here. Can I have a conversation with somebody, To their defense, they said they'd spoken to my agent. Agent wasn't happy with the fee, but they never communicated this with me.
Okay.
So it was that broken telephone of he said, she said, okay, but I'm here now. So what are we doing? But it was a negotiation over money that I wasn't happy with.
Yeah.
Based on the conversations we'd had at the beginning of season 1 to say, we don't have much money now. But if we do get
renewed, yeah.
So we'll sort it out then, And I felt like that promise was not being met.
I get you. Which is fair, bro. It's business.
You know what I mean?
It's business. Yeah.
So it literally was, I'm going to be making less in season 2 than I'm going to be making in season 1 because I have fewer calls because I'm half human, half snake.
Yeah, yeah.
But I'm like, what's that rationale?
Correct.
You know what I
correct.
mean? Is there no way to address that? But yeah, we couldn't meet halfway, so I had to do the hard thing and be like, as much as I love it,
I need to stand up for myself.
Business-wise, I can't agree.
Intriguing you say that, because also, as you said, Ikazi, you guys did something without realizing you are doing something. That show was loved, man. That show did something from Zanzi Magic.
Yeah. And I don't understand what it is now because there have been so many other shows I love, but I don't see anything lasting more than 2 or 3 seasons.
Ne?
And I think there's almost a rationale that our viewers get bored of something remaining too long. But I don't see good shows being rewarded with longevity, which is sad. So many shows deserve a 4th and 5th season.
A lot of good shows ended this year.
Yeah, a lot.
Yeah,
a lot. And it makes no sense to me. But I think it's also kind of what we inherited with COVID, with so much content being brought forward and so many new shows being birthed that I think the executives are stuck in that kind of cycle of we need renewal all the time. We can't lose our audience. We lose them by trying to keep them in one thing too long. Let's give them something else, And I think it's a balance that they aren't finding correctly because I think the viewers are being cut short with that.
Definitely are. Why you mentioned how when you had to speak a lot of Zulu on the show, speaking Zulu at home.
Yeah.
And then you said, my partner at the time. Has fame negatively impacted how you approach romantic relationships?
Good question. Not negatively impacted. Impacted.
Okay.
Impacted. Because my current partner is not in the industry and she doesn't want to be known as Thami's person. Because, the moment that becomes public knowledge, that's all she'll be known as.
She loses her own identity.
She loses her own identity.
Yeah.
And she was a person before me. She'll be a person after me.
Sure.
She'll be a person for as long as we are together. She'll always be her.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, the way, selling tabloids and selling newspapers works is to bring you down to something. We define you as this and this is what you are. So she hasn't wanted that. And at the beginning, I was like, oh, can't he? You know what I mean? Like,
are you embarrassed?
What's wrong? You know what I mean? Like, what's so wrong about it? But I'm actually very grateful for it now.
Sure.
It's allowed me space to breathe. It's allowed me to just carry on with life. We have a son now. We have a life that we're building.
Sure.
It's a breath of fresh air,
I've actually had a lot of people on that chair who say fame is a burden. Would you consider it a burden?
Fame is a great responsibility.
Okay.
That you don't realize until you are completely in it.
Okay.
You can be warned. You can be warned by many people. You can be warned by other people's stories, but until you actually experience it.
Sure.
Like I was checking something the other day. Or Mbogazi, the Orlando Pirates player that's now with Bafana Bafana.
Yes.
And there's a video that came out with him and Big Zulu them and whatnot. Now there's a huge outcry. Mfana Lo is messing up his career. Why is he hanging out around Utwala and women and without prior knowledge of why he was there in the first place
and what's going on
there and what's going on. And if you look carefully, he's holding a bottle of water.
Sure.
But because people have seen Utwala and stuff over there, there's really
in proximity.
All right. So there's this proximity to the. So he's never going to be able to have
normality
and a clear voice ever again in his life.
Sure.
Ever again, like once the snake is out the hole and you're out there in public, there's no coming back in. You know what I mean? Even if, worst case scenario, and God forbid, his career fails, once that cat is out the bag, he's always going to be viewed as this. He's always going to be a story to tell. You know what I mean? Even if it's a cautionary tale later on to say how not to approach failure. So it's a great responsibility, and it's about the choices that we make. And unfortunately for us, it's become so much more dynamic and so much more complex. Because 30 years ago, when a fan loved you, it was, yo, ngathanda umsebenzi wakho. Like, can I please have an autograph? And it's an autograph moment, and it's done.
It's TikTok now, Baba.
Now it's TikTok. Now it's TMZ. Because he's not the one that took the video. Someone else is taking the video of all these other famous people and enjoying this moment. But unfortunately, enjoying of moments is now, I'm not enjoying it as much as I should if I don't let other people know how much I was enjoying myself. You know what I mean? So I've taken a video, and I would have no problem if someone's taking a video right now saying, hey man, look at how dope this setup was, and you keep it for yourself.
Yeah.
And you go and show your girlfriend at home, and you go and show your kids one day.
And that's it. Yeah.
And that's it.
Yeah.
The problem nowadays is we want everybody else to know how dope my life is.
Yes. Yes. And even exaggerate what's happening in the video.
Absolutely.
Through a caption, through a song that's added.
Absolutely.
We insinuate things that don't exist because we want views.
It's going to grab attention, And so I have a problem with social media. I have a problem with Instagram, TikTok, all of that. I have accounts, but my manager is telling me all the time that you are horrible.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I understand.
Sure.
I don't know how to live outside of myself. You know what I mean? If I had someone completely there all the time taking pictures of me, I wouldn't mind. But I don't know how to be like, I want people to know that I was here today and then post as soon as I'm here. That's the way you're supposed to do it.
Sure.
I get it. I can't. I have a hard time with that.
Because I'm the same, I say there's nothing wrong with how you're approaching it. There's nothing wrong with saying I'm a businessman first, I'm a creator first, I'm an artist first. Right. And this evolution that has come about, some things are not for all of us, and it's okay that it's not for me. In fact, when you dig deep into it, a lot of it, there's a bit of psychosis in how people approach social media. A lot of delusion.
A lot. And for lack of a better word, it's egocentric.
Yeah.
It's a lot of look at what I am. This is my idea of me. And what you need to remember is everything you see on social media is everybody's best version of themselves.
Sure. Clippable moments. Yeah.
Is that the truth?
Yeah.
And I'm all for truth. I mean, I'm actually much more active on X than I am anywhere else because at least it's spoken.
And it's engaging.
Like there's a narrative that's engaging. And yes, it becomes so much more negative with trolls and people constantly trying to, one up each other. But at least there's dialogue. There's a narrative you can follow. There's content I'm creating based on my own words.
Yes. Many actors don't like social media. I figured that out. I figured that out because you guys came into this industry, I'd say post 1994, with an understanding of just the art.
Yeah.
And now with everybody with a smartphone being a pseudo journalist, you guys are just like battling with, geez, not every person in every citizen is a journalist now. We can't just exist.
True. And also the flip side of that is influences and all of that kind of vibe creeping into the craft.
Yes.
And look, man, I'm not going to bash anyone's work and what they do and what they've done to get to where they are.
Yeah.
It's just, it's an unfortunate byproduct of the numbers game.
Yeah. Commercialization. Yeah.
What want to play, and they think there's a direct correlation between that person's numbers and what they're going to get in terms of viewership and then ad spend and then them making money, But it's not, because yes, you will get a spike when that show is introduced because of everyone's curiosity to say, yo, my favorite singer is now
an actor,
an actor, and they are going to be in the show, and I need to check it out. And you get to check it out.
Yeah.
But that's usually the highest in terms of viewership that they get, because from there, viewers aren't stupid. You know what I mean? Like, our audiences aren't dumb. People appreciate genuine storytelling.
Correct.
After a while, you can tell when you're being told a lie. You've been told that this is what you must believe, but I'm not buying that.
Look, I'll be devil's advocate. I feel like a lot of the commentary from actors whose career started in acting has been unfair on influencers. And I'll tell you this, because I've never seen an influencer being a lead. I've never seen an influencer being on a soapy for more than 6 months, not even a month.
Right.
It's always cameos, most cases. An influencer comes in as themselves or comes in as something that they do online already, so that spike happens for that 2 to 3 days, right?
Yeah.
So which jobs are they taking? Because if they're doing cameos.
Look, it's not just leads, right? The thing is, it's multi-layered. You have your leads, you have your supports, right? Who are always going to be there, but they're constantly interacting with the leads. Then you have cameos, but you have different layers of cameos. You have extended cameos.
Yeah.
You have people like, let's say someone's a receptionist at what records.
Yes.
That extended cameo can often be given to someone that's a young actor coming out of university.
I get
that
you.
needs to find their way in the industry.
Got
and it's
you.
those kinds of jobs. Look, like, there is a selfishness in it. There is an insularity that says these jobs are meant to be for actors and let's protect actors.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because me as an actor, I can't just walk onto stage when someone else is singing and be like, "Ayo, I can also sing." And like, do my own thing there and bounce and be paid for it. I won't.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not going to be able to do that. I can't walk onto a football field and just
start playing.
Hey, I'm a left back. I can cross. No, there's a craft.
Yeah.
There's a work ethic that needs to be put in. There's so much more you have to do. And I think ours is the easiest to just like bastardize and say, hey man, someone really good looking can step into here and give me something. And it's been allowed for so long, and it happens. I'm not blaming the influencers. I'm blaming the people that create these stories, the people that employ people, and don't have the honesty towards the craft to say, this is what we want to achieve, and we're going to go this way wholeheartedly. Have influencers come through and have a cameo here or there. Let's speak to genuine people and say, this is how we want to use you in this thing right now. But let's not start a show on the premise that this person
has followers,
and has followers, and this is why we want them on the show.
I got you. I think that's fair because you guys have to protect your craft as well.
Yeah. And it hasn't been protected.
Yeah.
The truth of the matter is ours, and everyone always feels that theirs is the worst. But I honestly feel like ours is the most untransformed industry of all of the arts industries. The contracts that we had signed, for instance, the generations, and were fighting about, were the same contracts from 1984 from Afritel. Literally cut and paste. Just change the name at the top there. Just change the company header. But it's the same contract word for word from something that had been given to people since 1984. If we aren't looking into those things and changing and tweaking those things, it's going to be very hard for people who feel like they are being marginalized, not being paid enough, not being recognized, not getting royalties. There is no SAMRO for us. Once you do a show and you've been paid to be there that day, to shoot on that day, that's the last time you're receiving money. When it goes anywhere else, anywhere in the world, even if it repeats on ETV or whether it repeats on HBO, they're going to get money for that.
Sure.
You're not.
Every time it's resold.
Every time it's resold. And like, that's actually where and how artists make money. And residuals. Like Matthew McConaughey was saying, his biggest paycheck to this date, and he's done so many things, from True Detective to, you know what I mean? His biggest paycheck to date was I think a rom-com called How to Lose a Girl in 10 Days. Something like that.
Because of how many times it's resold.
Thank you.
Yeah.
To this day, that's his highest grossing.
And I think what actors are saying is, no, if you are getting paid 10 million production house for it, we don't want 10 million.
Yeah.
We just want a portion.
We just want a portion of that you're going to make later on.
Yeah.
Look, it's a tough one because we blame producers blame broadcasters blame
government, legislation.
So everyone's just like, hey, it's not me.
Yeah. It's a difficult space to exist in. Would you say there was ever a point where fame took over and you lost Thami?
No. I mean, look. With the exuberance of youth, there was many things I did in my previous relationship that I'm not proud of. That I was like, you almost want to give yourself credit for having been a good boy for so long, right?
It's like, hey, go by Nyangazi.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Because, I've always been a relationship guy.
Yeah.
And once in a relationship, I'm committed to the idea, I'm committed to the cause, I'm committed to the heart, and let's grow together. But in that, there's these selfishnesses, and then now seeing your friends and constantly being around your friends, and you go away on a gig and you kind of do things that you just like, just this once.
Yeah. Nobody will know.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But slowly but surely, those things define you.
Becomes a habit.
Yeah, it becomes a habit.
Yeah.
Like the more you do something, the more it becomes you.
Sure.
You can't fake love. You can't fake affection. You can't fake chivalry. It's not for long. At least not convincingly. So when you are constantly the cause of somebody else's tears, it's just like, it's not good enough.
We don't speak about this as much as men. That this culture of being promiscuous, of machita, Samba Soul 3, we're a squad, and we all in relationships, or some of us are even married, but we provide a platform as friends to be so free about being promiscuous and infidelity, and we don't say, Kota, bruh, you have a wife.
Like the moment you invite me out is like, let's go watch some soccer.
Stock.
All right.
Yeah.
Stogo.
Yeah.
Kuna bantu da.
Yeah.
Sabakuduban.
Sure.
Machita kwela.
Sure.
No, it's fine.
Yeah.
Catch me next time.
Yeah.
But it's also something you outgrow, I think, like over time. I honestly want to just like, to young people, there's certain things you have to go through. I honestly lament the early marriages. High school love, and then we are married, and then we are divorced by 27. When I honestly think in just circle of life, we spend all of our time until 18 being raised by somebody else, and you finally get the shackles off and you go to university, you go to tertiary somewhere, and you are left on your own, to your own devices and to make your own choices, right? This is the bedding in period of the building blocks of who you are going to be for the rest of your life.
Self-discovery period.
Self-discovery.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I am putting in the work. I am going to lectures. I'm waking up every morning because I told myself, I have to do this.
Sure.
And love works the same way. The heart is meant to break.
Sure.
And build itself up again. And build stronger. Just like a muscle. Like the same process of lifting weights and whatnot. It's muscles that tear and reattach again. And the body reattaches them even stronger with a swelling over them that makes them get bigger and bigger. The heart and emotions works the same. And if you've never gone through heartbreak repeatedly and gone through the cycle of loving someone and then loving somebody else and then loving somebody else, I honestly think most of our GBV and all of our problems are the lack of emotional intelligence, especially of men that have never given themselves to someone wholeheartedly before and are now experiencing it and are just like, how could you do this to me? Because you don't have the fortitude and the mental gymnastics and the emotional gymnastics to say, okay, kuganje, awusangifuni, kukrend, so tolomun. And I will build myself up and I will go there. And I will love them wholeheartedly.
And I'll pick up the pieces.
We don't know how to do that. We don't know how to have that conversation, because we are so caught up in the idea. And I think it's also in black parenting that says, ungajoli,
find a wife, find a husband.
And the moment you do, find a husband. No. Like, I think the process should be reversed. go live, from age 15, 16 onwards, like have your puppy loves and your things, because you begin to learn how to use this muscle, how to understand that this feeling that I'm feeling right now, oh no, that's jealousy. This feeling that I'm feeling right now, that's longing.
Yeah.
This feeling I'm feeling right now, oh, like this is love.
This is envy.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You understand? Like all of those things.
Yeah.
I see Chimang.
Yeah.
It has had no kind of exercise.
Sure. There's a lady who recently posted on Twitter, and the discourse she caused. She said she got divorced at age 31. She got married at 22.
Correct.
And she said, you have no business. She said, she prefaced it by saying, I've just got divorced at 31. I was married at 22. And this is what I want to say to women. You have no business having a child or marriage before 35. Everybody was like,
are you mad?
Are you crazy?
The body.
Yeah. Because people don't want to face the realities of that, of everything you're speaking of going through the mental, emotional gymnastics, the pain and the heartbreaks. Instead, we reduce it to, umjolo yanyisa.
Do you understand?
And we make it.
And it's not just umjolo.
Yeah.
No. Because who were you at 22? Do you remember who you were at 22?
Scary.
Right? You're a shadow.
Yeah.
What you are.
Yeah. Yeah.
So the only constant in life is change.
Yeah.
The only constant. We are always going to change. And what's going to happen, if you get married that young, we're either going to grow together in the same direction or we're going to grow apart.
Yeah.
And it's so much easier to grow apart because there's almost a resentment. And it's also like so much rooted in how marriage comes about in the black context.
Sure.
There is no big... these are Western things of going down on one knee.
Yeah.
Will you marry me?
Yeah.
Yeah. In a black context, it's a conversation between us, usually started by the woman, to say, how long is this carrying on?
Yeah.
Like, are you sending the letter to my uncles or not?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, no, I should. No? I should. Yeah, I should. Yeah, no. Okay, fine. I'll speak to my uncles. I'll speak to my parents. That will get sorted out. Next thing you know, a year down the line, we are planning a marriage.
Yes.
And getting married. There's almost a resentment from the male perspective sometimes of just like, I did the right thing. But once I'm married, I realize I did the right thing based on everybody else's idea of it.
And I don't want this thing for me.
I don't want this thing for me.
Yeah.
And I didn't have the strength of my own voice back then.
Yeah.
Or even the strength in society. Because yes, when you're 24, 25, it's probably your second or third year in a job. You know what I mean? Your financial means came through family, whatnot. But when you are 35, after your second or third promotion, and you're now a manager, or you have your own business that's doing well, your voice is also taken seriously in the family.
Correct.
You have the financial means to say when there's a funeral, no, I will take care of, inkomo and the groceries and the whatnot. You know what I mean? Suddenly there's meetings that won't happen until you arrive.
Correct.
Because we are waiting for you to get there as you are one of the heads of the family because you have a voice now, And sometimes we only grow our voice within the marriage much later on.
Sure.
Or you begin to realize, no, man, I've been doing things your way for so long.
Who is this?
Who's this? Who are you?
Yeah.
Because sometimes there's also that notion that, and it's a false pretext, but there's always the notion that there's something better outside, right? And we go into these relationships sometimes 3 years down the line, there's resentment. Hey, like, she fell pregnant, we got married. She trapped me. You're forgetting the part you had to play in that pregnancy.
Yes.
You know what I mean? But now you are being the victim, right?
Yeah.
No, she trapped me. I was never meant to be part of this in the first place. And actually, I want to live my own life.
She's not my type even. Oh my God.
You know what I mean? And she has a house, she has a home, she has everything there.
Yeah.
I've bought her Polo, I've bought her Mercedes Benz, whatever. Like, okay.
Yeah.
Like, I'm going to live my life, And it's wrong. But we do it. And it happens so often. I was of the feeling that, as men, definitely, before age 35, don't even think of or talk about marriage because you have so much personal growth to do. You are only going to break somebody else's heart in the process while finding yourself. It's a dangerous thing for me to find yourself within the context of a marriage. Know who you are, know what you can commit, so you can stay committed to that.
There are traditionalists watching this who will say, Lungelo no Thami, bavumelana ngo-rubbish. Bavumelana ngo-doti.
And they are right.
Bafuna ukufeba.
They are right based on what they know.
Yeah.
But there's so many things that are taught behavior that you think is the only way
Yeah.
Because I used to think the same, like growing up, I was like, yeah, I want to have kids one day. I want to be married by age 25.
Yeah.
Like the Ferrari was going hand in hand with marriage.
Sure. Quite hectic with list.
Listen here, I had it all planned out because I come from a secular life. I was raised in a Catholic household. Both my parents together all my life. I went to one school all my life. I've lived in one home all my life. So everything of mine has been long term.
And it was demonstrated that it can be long term.
And it was demonstrated.
Yeah.
So I saw the vision, I saw the dream, and I was like, I'm going to do this.
Until you're 27.
Yeah.
And then you now nitpick your parents' marriage and you're like, ew.
Absolutely.
You nitpick this house that they were living in, you're like,
I look
ew.
back now.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, timer.
Right?
Yeah. So they are right based on what they know and conventional wisdom is.
Yeah.
In having a differing opinion, my fear is that culture doesn't remain relevant and steadfast in its purpose if we don't allow it to evolve.
Sure.
I'll give you an example. There's a huge outcry, and the season is coming now for imikiti that happened in the Eastern Cape, when the young men come back from the mountain.
Sure.
And and it's the whole celebration.
Yeah.
There was an outcry a couple of years ago of this rich man that went and fetched his sons from a plant in a helicopter. Now, the initial reaction, genuinely, from me to you, anybody, I understand, is why.
Yeah.
Why are you being extra?
Yeah.
The mode of transport that everybody else is using is like a bakkie.
Yes, yes.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But the truth of the matter is, even a bakkie in itself was an evolution choice.
Yes, because it was walking at some point.
Thank you. Because in the 1800s, it was walking.
Yes.
When the first person ever took a bakkie and picked up their child,
it was outrageous.
It was outrageous back
then.
You know what I mean?
Got you.
You know what I mean? So if we are going to say everybody must walk because that's how it was done originally, and that's how we are going to remain, and we are going to remain rigid, you are going to lose so many people that say, I won't do it then. It's fine, Masiyek. Because now you expect me to walk 43 Ks, 2025. For what? When I can take a car there, pick up my young man and be done with this process and do it properly. You know what I mean? So, yes, maybe the guy was being extra by going with a helicopter, but he was using the means of transport available to him. If we can't find ways to maneuver into saying, what are the rigid, hard, fast things that are non-negotiables, and where are we able to say we can let more people in?
Interesting you say that. Also Xhosa related, I'd say, but it goes across all cultures and races. Is the storyline on Inimba at the moment, where there's a super rich woman, and the husband is very mediocre and middle class, and he's struggling. He's completely struggling how to exist as a man in that setup. So once again, that's culture evolving, where we've allowed women to work themselves to a point where they can be superpowers and CEOs and go work overseas. But now, how do you exist as a man? You have to evolve.
My girlfriend watches the show a lot, and I'm not a soapy person.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sports, I'm movies, but she slowly brought me in.
Yeah.
Because it's on the screen so often. And look, I found that dynamic very interesting, and it's like I like the social commentary that they do.
Yes.
Yes. There's a lot that we are raising in terms of modern women, because let's face it, the way South Africa is set up right now, with its laws and bureaucracy, it's geared towards uplifting women.
Yeah.
And we are seeing it in classrooms, we are seeing it from university, that the best performers are
women. Yes.
And this is not a new thing, though. When you actually look at the history of so many cultures and traditions, women have never been sidelined. Yes, women had a role. And sometimes seen, it favors patriarchy because of what they are asked to do. But women have always had a strong role in the history of all of our cultures. I looked at, I saw Shaka Ilembe the other day. And the role that Shaka's mother and Shaka's grandmother and the aunt played.
Correct.
But that is even contextualized in township life. With the role apartheid played socioeconomically in removing men from these structures.
The mother became a matriarch in the house.
The mother became the strongest voice. Even when the men would come back from the mines and whatnot, there is a deference and a level of respect, but the way the family structure runs,
it's because of mom.
It's because of mom.
Yeah.
So it's not an entirely new thing, but I think there's so many people that want to hold on to a rigid understanding of what the male's role is, and I like that Uhlati is cast as that because he pisses me off.
He's doing it so well because he is so well. Irritating. You know?
It like it pisses me off, but it's a necessary conversation to have.
Sure.
Because we're gonna encounter that so much more.
Yes.
And maybe not as much in terms of an uneducated man that completely doesn't understand what your path is. But we are both educated, just, the woman earns more.
Yeah.
And has more opportunities to go and see the world and experience this and come back to a secular marriage. But I think it's great, man. I think there's a necessary change in tone that needs to happen. There's a necessary realignment of thoughts and processes that need to be more inclusive.
Yeah.
There are traditional ways of doing things, but like, how do we marry the two? Because that's what needs to happen.
Sure.
You can't be mutually exclusive and say you are only going to be traditional
Yeah.
or only going to be westernized. You aren't.
Yeah.
You are a product of South Africa, and South Africa, just by virtue of its nature,
has married the two.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Like, it's a microcosm of all these things.
Yeah. We're nearing the end of our conversation, unfortunately. Before we get there, do you believe you are living out your purpose right now?
I think I'm closer to it.
Sure.
I think I'm closer to it. You never really reach the destination.
Mm-hmm.
I'm still learning every day. I'm still learning how to apply myself better. I'm still learning how to control my emotions, to think clearly and speak with reason. Because I'm raising kids now. My eldest is now turning 13 next year. And in being a father, it's, trying to find that middle ground of, being the strict, but being there emotionally, being an example, but being the best version of myself for them.
Yeah. And last but not least, Brother Thami Mngqolo, what's that one thing in life you know for sure and you're absolutely certain of?
Happiness is a choice.
Sure.
Happiness is a choice. And it's not as easy as that, but it's literally about making the choice in any circumstance. Do you want to be right or do you want to be happy? Yeah.
Because you can be wrong but still remain happy.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
We find so much to fight about when we both want to be right.
Yeah.
My point is, but you might be right, but is it going to make you happy after?
Thank you, brother.
Thank you, sir.
It's been an absolute privilege.
Appreciate that.
A conversation on understanding who you are, understanding your role in society as you grow. What I learned from Thami is that evolving is fine, be it in culture, be it in age, be it in seasons of your life. But as you evolve, remember to always choose happiness. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and continue sharing this episode with others. I'll see you on the next one. Bye.